ID Tech is more than just the original and most trusted tech camp for kids ages 7 to 17. ID Tech is where kids find their people. The engineering and creating people. The fire-breathing, shell-spinning BattleBots people. The just as happy building games as they are playing them people. ID Tech offers over 50 epic courses, like Camp Crunch Labs IRL, BattleBots with Take-Home Bots, and more at 75 college campuses across the country. Visit idtech.com and use code IDTech to save $150 on a week that's guaranteed to be the highlight of your kid's summer.
Parents, when you visit California, childhood rules. If you don't remember how awesome childhood is, just ask yourself,
what would kids do?
Dance to a giant organ played by ocean waves? Yep. Camp in floating tree houses hundreds of feet off the ground? Check. Jump in a big tub of mud on purpose? Call it rejuvenation. We don't care. Just pack your fun pants and let childhood rule your family vacation. Discover why California is the ultimate playground at visitcalifornia.com.
Hey, sweetie, your mother showed me this Carvana thing for selling the car. I'm going to give it a try. Wish me luck. Me again. I put in the license plate. It gave me an offer. Unbelievable. Okay, I accepted the offer. They're picking it up Tuesday from the driveway. I haven't even left my chair. It's done. The car's gone. I'm holding a check. Anyway, Carvana, give it a whirl. Love ya.
So good, you'll want to leave a voicemail about it. Sell your car today on
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.
Ready for the best summer ever? ID Tech is the original and most trusted tech camp for kids, ages 7 to 17, offering over 50 epic courses like Camp Crunch Labs IRL, BattleBots with Take-Home Bots, AI and machine learning, and more. Camps are all about high-energy fun, new friends, trusted instructors, and exclusive tech partnerships. Experience ID Tech at 75 college campuses nationwide. Visit idtech.com and use code IDTech to save $150 on a week that's guaranteed to be the highlight of your kid's summer.
Big jobs don't need 10 different suppliers. It's time for one partner for every size, finish, and bulk order delivered on your schedule. The Home Depot Pro. It's about time.
Hello, I'm Sarah, and welcome to the Whispering Woods Reddit and Listener Story episode. Just checking in, making sure everyone's all right out there. I've seen a couple of comments on our Facebook group. I know that people are worried, frightened. This is the safe space, guys. We've got different kinds of monsters on here. And I'm taking actually something Matt said a little while ago. I think I'm going to call you wood whisperers. And that'll bring us in and give us a closeness. So, hello, my friends, my wood whisperers. I've got some creepy Reddit stories to share today, and I'll get straight into them. Are you ready for the first story? And this story is from Material Internet 24. Thanks for letting us share it. I've never written this out before. I'm 28 now, and I still don't fully understand what happened, or if it ever really stopped. It started when I was 6 years old. Both of my parents worked full-time, so I spent most of my days at my grandparents' house. One evening, we were all watching TV together, when my grandfather, who had a very strange sense of humour, joked that my parents had moved away and weren't coming back to pick me up. Like any normal 6-year-old, I believed him. I walked into the hallway and started crying. That's when I first saw him. If you can even call him a him. I suddenly lost all sensation in my limbs. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. I couldn't even turn my head. From the guest room at the end of the hall, something emerged. It was tall, impossibly tall, nearly touching the ceiling. It had no real features, just a dark shape, beady eyes, and a stretched, unnatural smile. It walked toward me. I don't remember anything after that. The next thing I knew, my grandmother was carrying me to bed, telling me I had fallen asleep in the hallway. But it didn't stop there. For years after that, it kept happening. I would step out of the bathroom or walk into the hall, and suddenly the same thing. Total numbness, paralysis. The air would feel heavy. And he would be there. Sometimes just standing and staring. Sometimes sitting across from me, silently watching. He never spoke. Until one day, he did. My parents had picked me up from my grandparents' house and we were back home. They left to go to the grocery store, and I stayed in the living room drawing. The windows were wide open. It was the early 2000s, and we didn't have air conditioning. Then I felt it again. The numbness, the paralysis. I looked up, and he was standing outside the window, staring in at me. And that's when he spoke for the first time. "Let me in. I can't come in unless you let me in." I couldn't move. I just stared back at him in complete terror. Eventually, the feeling lifted. I bolted it into the hallway, screaming and crying, completely hysterical, and stayed that way until my parents got home. It wasn't the first time I told them about him, but like every other time, they said I needed to stop watching horror movies, and that it was just my imagination. It continued for years, until my mother couldn't take it anymore. She took me to a woman who lived 2 towns over. Looking back now, I'm almost certain she was some kind of witch. She told my mum that my third eye was open, and that she would close it. I don't remember much about what happened there, just flashes. I remember being carried. I remember being spun around over something burning, sticks maybe. Fire that felt too close for a child. After that, he stopped coming. For years I didn't see him, until 2 years ago. I was 26, sleeping next to my grandmother in her bed. My grandfather had passed away a few years prior. She was snoring loudly, so half asleep and annoyed, I grabbed my pillow and blanket and moved to the guest room. Yes, that guest room. I didn't think about it. I fell asleep. Then I jolted awake because something hit me in the head so hard that I fell off the bed. The first words out of my mouth were, "Hell no." I grabbed my blanket and pillow and ran back to my grandmother's room. I was shaken, but eventually fell asleep again. I would have convinced myself it was just a dream, except I woke up with a tennis ball-sized lump on my head. I stopped thinking about it. I buried it. Then last year, I was talking to my brother about how creepy our grandparents' house felt when we were kids, and he casually mentioned the very tall figure that used to come out of the guest room. I nearly choked. I started asking him questions immediately. The description was identical. Tall, ceiling height, dark, beady eyes, smiling. The same room, the same presence. My brother was born when I was about 6.5. He told me he never mentioned it before, because by the time he was old enough to describe it, I was a teenager and he thought I'd make fun of him. We both saw the same thing. Now I don't know what to think. I already feel this post is long enough, but we did go and ask my aunt, so let me know if you want to know about that. Also, if you know what this thing might be, or if you have had a similar experience. Edit. So here's what happened when we asked my aunt. She's more in touch with her spirituality, so I knew she wouldn't brush this away. She in fact confirmed that a lot of weird things happened when she used to live there. They'd wake up and find eggs cracked on the walls, and light bulbs would always explode. And she always felt a weird presence, but she in fact never saw the entity I've described. She said at one point, when the electrical problems got too much and caused a fire when they weren't home, my grandpa got a Sikh, a Muslim equivalent of a priest, and he blessed the house. The problems stopped for a while, but they came back. In fact, until recently, an electrical short circuit happened and the power went off for days. Even the electricians they brought in couldn't fix it right away. To answer some of your questions, no, I didn't ask my grandmother. She lives alone there now, and I would never want to creep her out. No, this isn't AI. It's a completely true story. I wish it wasn't. No, I don't think it's sleep paralysis. I was awake during all of it. No, nobody died in the house as far as I know. My grandpa built the house in the 70s, so no other families lived in the house other than my own. The guest room was part of the kitchen before they renovated the house, when all their kids moved out, and they didn't need a big kitchen anymore. Also, I did use AI to narrate my story, as English is like my third language, and I'm a doctor, so I don't have a creative writing bone in my body. Ooh, that is creepy, and I really have a lot of respect for the author. Apart from just admitting, it was AI. AI helped me put it together. But not telling the grandmother because they didn't want to frighten her, which I think is really, really thoughtful. Because if my granddaughter said to me, Nanny, something's in the house, that would really freak me out, especially if I was living here alone. So that must have taken a lot of effort, and it's just really thoughtful. I've no idea what it is. It sounds kind of vampiric, doesn't it, saying, let me in? One of those kind of entities that needs to ask permission before it can fully cross the threshold. Spooky, and it's like, because it's already in one sense. So does the let me in mean into you, into your person? Who knows? Not sure anybody should find out either. Let's leave that well alone. Are you ready for the second story? And this story is from Oktashaki. Thanks so much for letting us share it. My 6-year-old disappeared for approximately 2 hours. Not sure if this is the right sub, so bear with me, please. I need help debunking, explaining this. To set the scene, my living room is on one side of the house. Main bedroom, kitchen, dining room and playroom, with access to the backyard, are behind it. The playroom and door to the backyard are separated by a dog gate. Next to the living room is the foyer, and on the other side of that is a hallway with a kids' room, main bathroom and home office, with the garage entrance at the end. All the doors in my house make a distinct noise when opened or closed. We did have windows throughout the house open, as it was a nice night. Now to the event. On Saturday night, I put my kids to bed as normal, around 8:30 p.m. They were in and out of bed, as is normal lately, needing different things, driving me and my husband mildly crazy. About 9:30 p.m, finally seemed to get them settled and going to sleep. 10 p.m, hubby and I hear a door/window slam. We get up and check what it was. My bedroom door had slammed shut. While checking the house, I found my 6-year-old was not in her bed. This started the search. We looked everywhere. Under beds, tables, computer desks and chairs, behind couches, in the garage, front and backyard, everywhere, from one end of the house and back again for 30 minutes. I was calling out to her while doing it. "Baby, you're scaring Mama. Time to come out." She has always come out of hiding to this before. So it's 10:30 and we cannot find her, so starting to panic. I called the police and my husband went outside to start checking, up and down the street. While I'm on the phone with 000, my older daughter wakes up and is obviously upset. The police arrive and we go out to speak to them. My neighbour comes out and I give her a brief explanation, and she takes my older daughter into her house. We take them through the house and they look everywhere also. She's nowhere to be found. The police decide to call the dog squad, and while we are waiting, we are talking in the front yard. It's now almost midnight. Suddenly, the cop we are talking to looks past us and says, "Who is inside?" It was my 6-year-old. We were all shocked, but obviously happy she had turned up. When asked where she was, she said she thought that she was in trouble and was hiding in my room. Here is the confusing part that I am questioning. Hubby and I didn't see her walk past the living room, and the dog didn't react either. Normally jumps on the gate for pats when she sees anyone. Many of us looked where she was hiding, and she was not there. Where could she have gone? Well, this is scary on a different level, isn't it? Because I can imagine, even for 2 seconds, one of your children goes missing and you can't see them. I had it happen to me on a holiday camp when Toby was little and he disappeared. And he was found crouched, hiding. So I can't imagine that for 2 hours. Terrifying. And where did she go? They obviously would have seen her hiding in the bedroom. I imagine, anyway, because you're going to be frantic and throwing things and looking under beds and all sorts in desperation. Creepy. I do wonder if there will be more to this story. Are you ready for the third story? And this story is from Educational U 1827. Thanks so much for letting us share it. Police paranormal experience. I'm a cop in a mid-sized city in the northeast. A few years ago, I got called to a potential B&E around 9 o'clock on a summer evening. It was calm and clear weather, not windy, nor was there anything going on at the time that could explain what happened next. The reporting party arrived home and said she very clearly heard voices inside her house and thought someone had broken in. She said before she had left, she locked all the doors and windows and wasn't expecting anyone to be home. My partner and I checked the perimeter of the house for signs of forced entry, and finding none, walked up, unlocked the door and did a search of the house. We didn't find any signs of forced entry inside. All doors and windows were locked, and there was no TV or radio on. No pets, no other people, just an empty house. We brought the woman back into the house and talked to her for about 10 minutes, getting her information and assuring her that all was well inside her house. As we talked to her, the shades over the window started swaying back and forth on their own accord. No windows were open, no AC kicked on. I couldn't see any reasonable explanation. Needless to say, we were all a little freaked out, and we assured the RP if we were needed, we'd be right back over. Then we got out of there. I got back into my cruiser and ran the call history on the house. Turns out 5 years before, there had been a murder/suicide there. A man had shot his wife before calling 911 and then shot himself while on the phone with dispatch. I can't say for certain it was paranormal, but it was creepy. I'll say, that is really scary, and I wonder if that poor woman knows that that happened. I don't know if you have to disclose that kind of information. I think you do, don't you? When you're buying a house or renting one, perhaps. I'm not entirely sure. But that is really unnerving. Are you ready for the fourth and final story? And this story is by Oof Jakey Poo. Thank you so much for letting us share your story. I don't believe in ghosts, but I can't explain what I saw. I've been telling this story for years now, and my friend told me to post this here. I was 14 years old, home alone on a Friday night. My parents were working late, and my older sister was spending the night at a friend's house. It wasn't uncommon for my sister and I to either be home alone or just us two together. So neither of us were really afraid of the dark, or just being alone in general. Anyways, it was around 11 p.m. when I decided to go to bed. I hopped into my top bunk and turned off the light. And when I finished getting comfortable, I noticed that I had left the bathroom light on. Now at this point, everyone in my family just slept with their doors open, and the bathroom was right across from my room. So the light was super bright, it basically lit up the whole upstairs. This is when I went to climb down my bunk bed. Then I looked over at the bathroom, and I saw it. I watched a tall, shadowy figure walk from out of the bathroom by grabbing the top of the door frame and ducking underneath it, then slowly turning toward my sister's room, where he again grabbed the top of the door, ducked underneath, and walked into her room. This interaction lasted for about 10 seconds, and to this day is the clearest thing I've ever seen. It was so bright, and while I was tired, I cannot imagine that my mind simply just made this up. I was so terrified, I froze there, and only thought to slowly fall back onto my bed and stare through a crack between my bed and the frame into my sister's room, waiting for it to come back out. I sat there and just waited for my parents to come home. I was so scared that I was alone, I didn't know what to do. Finally, I heard my parents open the front door. I just jumped off my bed to the floor and ran downstairs to tell them. They asked why I was up so late, and that's when I found out it was 1 a.m, and I had just sat there and stared for at least an hour straight. I told them everything, but they just didn't believe me at all. Ended up keeping my bedroom door closed that night, and from then on. My sister followed suit the next day after I told her the story. When you sum it up, yeah, a 14-year-old kid was home alone late at night and saw something scary. Sounds like nothing, I guess. But I will never get the image out of my mind of what it looked like. Everything in that moment was so clear. I can remember the terror going through me so fast I just couldn't move. It's been 10 years and I still don't believe in ghosts or the afterlife or whatever. I just cannot explain what else it could have been. I'm sure I'm not explaining everything to the fullest, so if you have any questions, I'll try my best to answer them.
Ready for the best summer ever? ID Tech is the original and most trusted tech camp for kids, ages 7 to 17, offering over 50 epic courses like Camp Crunch Labs, IRL, BattleBots with take-home bots, AI and machine learning, and more. Camps are all about high-energy fun, new friends, trusted instructors, and exclusive tech partnerships. Experience ID Tech at 75 college campuses nationwide. Visit idtech.com and use code IDTech to save $150 on a week that's guaranteed to be the highlight of your kid's summer.
Hey, take a breath. You've been moving all day. Scrolling, answering, planning. But for the next few seconds, you get quiet. Now imagine warm light. A place where your shoulders finally drop and you feel like a kid again. Never lose that feeling. Never lose your splash. Visit Lauderdale.
You seem to be having a lot of kind of shadowy figure stories lately, and that is creepy. I think, your mind can play tricks on you, especially when you're home alone. That's quite a common occurrence when I was young. It was, 8 years. What can I say? Happened a lot. But that is freaky, and I think the tallness of it made it even more frightening, ducking to get under the door frames, because that thing must have been really tall. We always sleep with our doors closed, more because I'm paranoid about a fire starting, so I've always done it, like we've got to have the doors closed. So quite a few creepy stories there. They've all been pretty freaky, to say the least. Well, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you again on Sunday for the After Dark. And don't forget, if you'd like to support the podcast, you can do so by visiting patreon.com/The Whispering Woods, following us on social media, or joining our Apple Premium. Take care, everyone.
When it comes to what your family eats and drinks, you know your choices matter. You're the expert because you know what fits your life. And getting it right starts with good information. That's why America's beverage companies are sharing more information about our ingredients at goodtoknowfacts.org. No spin, no judgments, just the facts straight from the experts for more than 140 beverage ingredients. Visit goodtoknowfacts.org.
I'm here on the job site with Dale, who's a framing contractor.
Hey, good morning.
Dale traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance for all his business vehicles. We're here where he needs us most.
Yep, they sure are.
We make it easy for him to save on all his insurance needs, all in one place, with coverage that fits his business and bottom line. Oh, I shouldn't have looked down.
It's all right.
We're so far up here.
Look at me. Take a deep breath.
No, I'm good. So good.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. It feels good to Geico.
The stories told on the Whispering Woods are inspired by historical records, witness reports, and local folklore. While every effort is made to research and represent events accurately, some details, names, and locations may differ from official accounts or have been changed out of respect for those involved. These episodes are created for storytelling and entertainment purposes and should not be considered definitive fact or investigative journalism.